Changing the world requires something and somewhere out of the ordinary. Something to spark ideas, inspire creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. A space where you can dare to dream, experiment and share those ideas with a diverse community of academics, students, businesses, policymakers and more. The Translational Research Hub, or TRH, is set to do just this. Part of Cardiff University's new £300 million innovation campus built by Bouygues UK, the new facility will allow Cardiff University to foster partnerships with national and international enterprises to promote academic to business and business to business relationships that will ultimately fuel economic growth in Wales and beyond. The 129,000 square foot research hub will accommodate two world-leading institutes, the Cardiff Catalyst Institute and the Institute for Compound Semiconductors.
My name's Jeff Lambert and I'm Head MEP Lead for Region 1, which is the South West in Wales. I've been working on the project now since the inception of the tender, which was back in 2017. The building primarily is sectioned into four areas. We have a cub, which is a central utility building, which houses all the plant and pumps and equipment. And then we have the 6 levels of the laboratories, which are filming here. We then have a very specialist area called microscopy, which is housing the electron beam microscope. Has very strict criteria on EMI shielding and vibration. And then we had halfway through the project, the order to carry out the clean room fit out.
There's a significant amount of complexity to the project. So we identified that early. We employed an independent commission manager to assist us with that process, and we included the client team on all our decision making really. The sequencing was quite complex. As we've built the building for effectively the fume cupboards, the fume cupboards were a priority. We've got the base build STO4 pipework, which is a high purity stainless steel pipework, and then the interface then with the lab furniture. So we needed to coordinate those two while not impacting on the project build.
I'm Nigel Griffin. I work for Cardiff University Estates Division in campus development. From an estates point of view, the TRH building represents the largest project that we've ever undertaken in Cardiff University. It's been a real challenge, and I think we've, with the help of Bouygues and their team, have helped us pull it off. It also represents a massive investment from Cardiff University's point of view, the largest investment we've ever made in the capital works.
My name is Thomas Lacera and I am Preconstruction Director for CMB. So on this project I looked after the design, the detailing and the procurement of all the mechanical, electrical and process services. When we were involved in the project, this building was far too small. So we started developing the design with our specialists in order to actually ascertain what the actual size and requirements was for the plant in order for it to be installable and maintainable. And we worked with the Bouygues UK team to effectively make the building bigger in order for it to be maintainable and operate as it should. The building we're stood in right now was 25% of what it is now. And as you can see, it's highly congested even now, so it would have been completely impracticable and impossible to have fitted the amount of equipment here now in 25% of the space. So effectively, we worked with the designers and the wider team in order to define the requirements, provide better accurate information in terms of sizing, and then coordinating all the services to fit in a very congested small space.
It's the largest lab facility that we've got in Cardiff University now. We've got 90 fume cupboards, we've got lots of individual labs with bench space, a huge amount of bench spaces. Technical house gases are installed everywhere for the Institute to do their research. So it's now become a major facility for our researchers to be able to do their work.
Yeah, there are many specialist systems within this building. This is not a normal MEP project. We have ultra-pure water for the manufacturing of the wafer fabs. We have process cooled water, which cools all the tools. We have ultra-pure pipework, STO4, STO5 pipework, which distributes all the specialist gases around the building. There's gas abatement should gas escape, and there's chemical discharge system, and also there's solvent and acid drainage systems for neutralization. The process of testing STO5, STO4 pipework was by using a mass spectrometer and injecting helium into the pipework to see where the differentials are, whether any gas is escaping. Very lengthy process, long in program, and very costly. We've done it a different way where we actually pressurize the gas pipework with a mixture of helium and argon. The argon's 80%, the helium's 20%. So we basically measure the pressure test. So if the pressures, and they're tested at 14.5 bar, if they drop by 20%, we know that the helium is leaking through any joints or valves. So a very specialist way of testing.
My name is Mark Roach. I'm a building services engineer. Within the labs, you've got a standard ventilation system, you've got a supply air, you've got an extract system, and then you've got process gas pipework, which you can see behind me here. The supply air is approximately 40,000 litres per second. It's all fed from the AHUs within the plant room. There's no ceilings throughout the job, so it's trying to get a building, well, an installation that looks aesthetically pleasing as well as functions as it should. Because although it's science labs, you've still got to maintain and keep access to all the items. So that's been the biggest challenge.
So it's very important that with the magnification factors that we use with the microscope that we have in this facility, that the ground itself is vibration free, or as vibration free as possible. And then the electromagnetic interference, that can also have a detrimental effect on the microscope. So the building is shielded against EMI interference, and we have to monitor that to make sure that it doesn't become a problem.
So I'm Kieran Jenkins, project manager looking after the TRF scheme. So we have carried out vibration monitoring on 3 separate occasions, and all that information gets fed back as the construction is being built. Mainly for zone 4, which is microscopy. Obviously that, where the microscope is going, can't have any sort of level of vibration going through it. There's different vibration criteria we got to meet. That consultancy was done through a third party, obviously with the specialist requirement for that level of vibration was done through that. And from an operations point of view, it was a heavily inspected part of the works.
We zoned this plant room to allow us to build every part of the building separately, while still going back to one point of vibration concentration, if that makes sense. So pretty much everything that vibrates to any significant level is here, and then treated as such to make sure that the vibration doesn't transfer to any of the vibration sensitive areas, which are, in the case of microscopy, as further away as possible.
We needed a contractor that had the resources available to be able to handle a project of this size. And any construction project is governed by the people. And it's very important to develop the people relationships between us as the client and Bouygues as the contractor, that if you've got the right people in place, then the project runs that little bit smoother.
So we developed the commissioning program to align with our build program very, very early on, earlier than we normally would. We developed the commissioning strategy very early on in collaboration with our supply chain partner, CMB, and they sat in on all the commissioning meetings, and we also invited the client into those. As we approached then the final commissioning stages, we ramped it up to witnessing of systems to the client team, and then the softer touches of training the end users and the FM teams to be able to run such a complicated building.
Yeah, so collaboration between the stakeholders has been vitally important on this project. With the client obviously wanting a building that they can use. You know, sometimes their requirements change, and we've got to change with that. And you know, the buy-in from ourselves and CMB and all our other contractors to accommodate those changes or developments within as part of the scheme has been a massive bonus to us all. It's been a credit to ourselves and the supply chain to, continue down that path and wanting to make the changes and always trying to, maintain a positive step about it. It is vitally important. At the end of the day, we're building this for a client. They are paying us, to deliver this scheme on time and to the specification they want. And if we don't do that, then they end up with a building that they can't use. So it has been massively important to us.
CMB work in a collaborative way, always, and effectively from the early days we engaged with all the stakeholders, the Breeze UK team, and the client team, and all our specialists together. We had a series of workshops and collaborative sessions in which we presented and played back, many times what we were interpreting the requirements to be, and then slowly but surely built up on steady ground to give them the building they wanted.
It may seem like a large scheme, but when you condense the workforce we have within the TRH, it's not a big space, coordinating multiple trades to allow them to go in, deliver their aspect of works, and then hand it over for the following trade has been our biggest challenge.
Oh, it's been thoroughly enjoyable. I've really enjoyed it. It's a big learning curve. Every project that I've been on has been something new to learn, and this building being probably the highest serviced building in Cardiff University, with a number of building services that are installed in this building. It's become, as I said, a huge challenge, but it's been something that has been a good learning process that we can take on to other projects.
Developing a project of this nature and the facility that we're going to provide for the client, we've still maintained a very strong relationship with our supply chain, CMB and Whitehead Building Services. So the relationship's strong and sets us up for future works with them.
It really has been a privilege as a former Cardiff University student and as an engineer to take part in a project of this complexity and of this nature. So local and so state-of-the-art has been a real privilege.
I took over the TRH in September as a project manager looking after all the scheme, and it's been a long, hard process to get it to this stage. So when you see a finished product coming together, you start to see your finishes going down, and you start to see how the spaces are going to work. You start walking the client around, and you see the excitement in their face about, oh, here's our working space. This is much bigger than what we got. This is brilliant. That's rewarding, and that's what I joined this company for, was to come and deliver this project. So, and to see it come together, that is really rewarding for myself, and I know it is for the rest of the team.